Now, you were talking yesterday at a panel presentation, is that right?
Yes.
Comparing the needs and practices in your own home countries. Yeah. Now, Urmila, you were talking about the need for teacher educators in Bangladesh.
Yes.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, actually we need several changes in teacher education of Bangladesh, but in order to bring those changes, we need more teaching staff, so more teacher educators. So if we have more teacher educators, then we can work for the changes, like we can monitor our trainees more, and we can include ICT for ELT more. So I think for teacher recruitment, teacher educator recruitment is essential in Bangladesh.
And currently, what are the initiatives the government are making to recruit teacher educators?
Actually, there are two ways currently for recruiting teacher educators. Like the one is teacher through the Bangladesh Civil Service exam, BCS exam. So the job seekers, they have to go through different tests like objective test, then written examination, then viva, and then they are recruited for teacher training colleges. And the other way is through the project, the short-term project, through which teacher educators are recruited for a certain period of time. And often it happens that they are recruited as temporary ones, but they become permanent in the job there. So,
Great. And Vuyo, you were saying, do you have enough teacher educators in South Africa?
Yes, we do have enough teacher educators, but I think we need more people who get into the practice of teaching. We need more teachers, because the salaries are not that lucrative. People from high school, they don't choose to go for teacher education. They rather go for being a doctor, lawyers, all the other better professions. They don't come to this mother of all professions, which is English, because of the fact that there's little, there's low salaries. But the government, what they're doing now, they are actually they're providing bursaries, full paid bursaries, so that at least now they are able to attract people into the profession. And I think it's actually working, because people actually don't have money to pay for their own education. So even though those who get the bursaries, they will have to pay, they will have to honor, and stay in the career maybe for 2 or 3 years, then they jump off the wagon.
Oh, no.
Because they just wanted to get the start. So that is the problem we're having, that people don't see it, as something they could go venture into as a career. But then, as I was saying, it only takes, passion to be a teacher. So if you really don't have that, don't go there if you don't have it.
And you were talking a little bit too about reflective practice.
Oh yes, that is something that I think we are not doing. And it's something that we are supposed to be doing. It's something that is supposed to be taken seriously, being reflective practitioners. Because being a reflective practitioner, it means that every time you go into, every time you go to, after a lesson, you take time to think deeply about what you have been doing with your learners. What went wrong, what went well, why it went the way it did, and what you can do to improve on it. And then if you don't do that, it means we're just sailing, just sailing without checking back as to, am I really making an improvement? And if really we can actually force ourselves to be, I was reading somewhere that being a reflective practitioner, it means you do it deliberately, because you have an aim, you have a purpose, you know where you're going. It's actually, without reflecting on the experience, there's nothing you're learning from it. So it is something that you really need to. And I'm even thinking that my research is actually going to be exactly that. How we can make teachers be reflective practitioners, so that maybe, I think, from what I've read so far, it is something that can actually improve. It's about development in your practice, So really, I think it's something that we need to be doing. Yes.
And I think then, like you're saying, people will have been what's the word, invested in their own career, and then they become more passionate about
They become
being a
more
teacher.
passionate because if you know, okay, I've been doing this for years, and now reflecting on it, this is why, I mean, by reflecting, we are now looking at your mistakes, at why it goes well or why it's not going well. And I think even, I work with high school teachers and high school learners. I mean, I think we can also have hear from the learners, how they take what we are doing with them. So if we can listen to even them, those who are working with, how they feel about what we are doing, then I think really, because sometimes you think that something is working, but they are just wondering, what is this woman doing with us, But now, if you can actually listen to what they have to say about what we are doing with them, I think that can take us a step forward.
Yes. And Pipit, you've been working with young learners, and are you listening to what the learners are saying about yourselves and other teachers?
Okay, you mean that what they think about me?
Yes.
During my teaching experience, I was their favorite teacher for 4 times. So, because of the nature of the English language learning, probably in the primary school, which tends to be so much fun in the classroom. So, they really love it. They love playing games, singing, dancing, things like that. But unfortunately, since two years ago, English in primary school was removed from the curriculum by the government.
Okay. So you said that you're very interested in curriculum developments, and what are you doing to make a change?
Because until now, there is no syllabus, there is no curriculum guidelines for primary school teachers. But then, the government policy doesn't stop the schools from introducing English to young learners, so they still keep doing that. But the problem is that the teachers are not experienced. So, for example, in my school, the teachers are not English educational background teachers.
Okay, yes. And what do you think would be a good initiative in the future for...
First of all, I'd like to invite the teachers to work in a teacher association, and then to develop a course book which is localized. So because in my country, English is a local content subject, so it should be local and specific to the region.
That sounds fascinating. Excellent. Well, all the best of luck. Best of luck, and enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll be back shortly with our next interview.